Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining this morning. What can I say? What a crazy day it was yesterday. Which reminds me that the purpose of yoga, not just the postures, but the whole system of yoga, is to calm the disruptions of the mind that result from external events. And I couldn't think of a time when that would be more relevant than it is at this moment, at least for me, maybe for you too. So thank you again for joining this morning, and let's begin by becoming present to our practice. Find a cross-legged position or other seated position on your mat if you're not there already. And allow your eyes to close down. And then we're going to begin with just 3 breaths. And what I'd like for you to do is see if with 3 breaths only, you can drop into your practice. Become present and let go as much as possible of all the externalities, of everything outside of your mind and your practice. So when you're ready, begin. Nice, deep, long breaths. And one more. All right, let's begin with some gentle movement. Look to the right, and then to the left, and then back over to the right, and again to the left. Back to center. Lift your chin, not too high, just gently, and then bring your chin to your chest. Now inhale, lift the chin, and exhale, and bring the chin to the chest. Back to center. Now right ear towards right shoulder and let the head float right back up, and left ear towards left shoulder. Head floats back to center. And one more time, right ear towards right shoulder and then left ear towards left shoulder. Come back to center. Now on an inhale, just lift your chin, lift your chest, rounding or actually arching the back. And then exhale, chin to chest, draw your navel in and round the spine. Do that one more time. Inhale. Lift the chin, pull the shoulders back a little, and exhale and round forward, chin towards chest, draw the navel in. Back to center, spine is now long. Bring the arms out, and then let's rotate the arms at the shoulders. You can go around a couple times one way, and then back the other way. Now bring the arms out in front, palms face up, bend the elbows. Touch the shoulders with your fingertips and straighten the elbows. Do that again. And now make fists, very gentle ones, not too tight, with the thumbs out. Rotate the hands at the wrists. We'll go around a couple of times one way and then back a couple of times the other. And then let your fingers start to move a little bit. And that's it. Let's come now to table pose. And once you're in table pose, drop your belly and lift your chin on an inhale. And then as you exhale, move into cat pose, pressing the hands into the mat and drawing your navel up, let your head drop down. Do that again, dropping the belly, lifting the chin. We're going to go through this flow 5 times. And exhale into cat pose. That's the second one. Again, dropping the belly, lifting the chin on an inhale, and then exhale to cat, and twice more. Inhale to cow, and exhale to cat, and one last time, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, and exhaling into cat pose. Now come back to a neutral spine, and then pick up your right knee. And we're just going to circle that right knee now. We'll go around about 3 times. So just make big circles with the knee, starting to activate the muscles and the outside of the hips, and also that right leg a little bit. And then bring that right knee kind of centering, but lift it up a little bit. And then bring your knee towards your chin or your nose. Maybe touch the nose with the knee. I can do that. And then straighten the leg. Do that a second time. Bring the knee towards the nose or the chin, round the spine deeply, and straighten the leg, reach back. Do that one more time on this side. Rounding and reaching straight back. And then you bring that knee down. Over to the other side. Pick the left knee up this time. And then bring the knee forward and down and back. Again, circling the knee. Lift that knee up as high as you can when you get to the side. And go around again about 3 times. And then let the knee just fall down, but still off the mat. And then straighten the leg. And then bring the knee forward, touch the nose or chin, and reach straight back. Do that a second time. Knee towards nose. And reach straight back with the foot. And one more time, knee towards nose. And reach straight back with the foot and bring the left foot or left knee down now. Now, walk your hands forward just a little bit, a few inches, and then press your hips back towards your heels. Start to feel a stretch come into the back, and then rise up and glide your hips forward and down. Press the heart forward. Elbows are straight. Now engage the core as you lift the hips back up. Press your hands into the mat as you move towards child's pose. Keep the knees right where they are. You don't need to move them apart. Now glide forward again. We'll go through that flow again. Drop the hips down. Lift the chin a bit. And then press back towards child's pose. This is the second one. Now glide the hips forward and down. This is the third one. We're going to do it 5 times. And then back towards child's pose. Keep pressing your hands into the mat. Then gliding forward, dropping the hips, lifting the chin, and pressing back. One more time through, gliding forward, and then pressing back. And then come back to child's pose and bring your hands back under the shoulders. Keep the right hand on the mat, reach the left hand up, and then bring the left hand under and through. Tap the shoulder with that left hand, the right shoulder, and then reach back up, look up, and exhale under and touch, and reach back up. One more time on this side. Under, touch the shoulder, press into the right hand, reach up with the left, and bring that left hand down so that it meets the right hand. Keep the left hand on the mat this time, and reach your right hand high, look up towards the right hand. And then under the body with the right hand, tap your left shoulder, press into the left hand, and reach up with the right. Do that a second time. Tapping the shoulder and reaching high. And one more time, under the body, and reach back up. And then bring the right hand down so that it meets the left hand. Walk your hands forward again about 3 or 4 inches so the hands are well forward of the shoulders. Now press your hips to the right. And then bring your hips forward, and then over to the left, and then back. And just make some circles with the hips. We're going to do this about 3 times. So about 3 circles. And maybe one more. And then come back to center. And bring the hands under the shoulders so that we're back to table pose. Now what I'd like you to do is reach your left hand forward and reach your right foot back. Now point the toes on that right foot. Now bring elbow towards knee, round the spine, and then reach back out. And a second time, rounding the spine, elbow comes towards knee, and reach back out. Last one on this side, elbow towards knee, and reach back out, and then bring the hand down, and bring the knee down. Now, cow pose, drop your belly and lift, and then exhale into cat pose. And again, inhale to cow, and a big exhale to cat. One more time, inhale to cow, and exhale to cat, and then come back to a neutral spine. This time reach the right hand forward and the left foot back. Now bring elbow towards knee, and then reach out. And again, elbow towards knee, and reach back out, point the toes, And elbow towards knee. This is the last one. And reach back out and bring the hand down and the knee down. Drop your belly, lift your chin, cow pose. Exhale to cat. Twice more now. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. And one more. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Now walk your hands forward about 3 or 4 inches again, then tuck your toes and find downward facing dog. Pause for just a moment in downward dog and then start to pedal it out. Bend one knee and then the other. Press the opposite heel down towards the mat. And we're going to do this about 5 times on each side. Continue breathing deeply in and out as you move through this flow, this downward dog flow. Stay with it about 3 more times. Keep it going. And twice more. And one more time. Now begin to walk your feet forward to your hands. And let your head drop down in a standing forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit so your head can get closer to the mat. Now keep your chin on your chest, round your spine as you come up. Let your arms float high. And then exhale the hands to heart center. And then release the hands and let them come all the way down. Palms face forward. Feet about hip width apart and feet parallel to one another. Let your shoulders come back a little bit. And then drop the shoulders down. So try and relax the outside of the neck. 2 more breaths. The eyes can close. 1 more breath. Now reach the arms up and overhead. And then exhale the hands, bringing them to heart center. Now bring the arms out to a T and swan dive to a forward fold. Come to a half lift. Bring your hands to the top of your shins. Reach your head forward so the sensation is a little bit of lengthening or stretching of the neck. Press your tailbone back. Now hinge at the hips and fold forward and let your head drop down. Press into the front of the feet and rise and reach up high. And then bring your hands to heart center. Bring the arms out to a T. We'll do that again. Swan dive, forward fold. Come to a half lift, hands to the top of the shins. Just press the palms into the shins. You don't need to grasp your legs. Then as you exhale, fold forward, letting your head drop down. Press into the front of the feet and rise and reach high. And then bring your hands again to heart center. Inhale, reach back up. We're going to do the same thing. And then arms out to a T, swan dive. Come to a half lift. And then exhale, let your head drop down. Press into the front of the feet and rise and reach up high. And then bring your hands again to heart center. Now release the hands, let them come all the way down. Palms face forward, thumbs are pointing out. Feet again parallel and about hip width apart. Now relax the shoulders, but actually let's do this. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears and then bring them down. Take a breath, breathe into the space. Clear the space out for breath. And again, deep breath in. And let it go. On an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Now take not opposite elbows. Interlace the fingers, point the index fingers, and stretch up. Get really tall. Now a little bend to the left, pressing the hips to that's a bend to the right. Press the hips to the left. It's too early this morning. I can't quite talk. And back to center. Reach up through the index fingers as you come out of the pose, and then over to the other side, pressing the hips to the right, reaching to the left with the index fingers, and then back to center. We'll do that again. Reach to the right, hips to the left, and reach up through the index fingers, pulling yourself out and over to the other side, and then back to center. Reach up high, and then bring the arms behind you, interlace the fingers behind the back. Pull the knuckles down towards the heels. Feel the shoulder blades coming deeply together on the back. And now take a huge breath in to the chest. Feel the chest puff up as you breathe in. Keep breathing in as long as you can. And now a big exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees if you need to. Let your head drop down. Reach the arms up and overhead. Some of you can bring your arms forward even towards the front of your space. Now release the hands and bring them down. Step back with the right foot. Keep the left foot forward. Then bring your right knee to the mat and rise to a low crescent lunge. Press the left knee forward and then bring the hands down, framing the forward foot. Tuck the toes and bring your right knee off the mat. So we've come to runner's lunge. Now step your left foot back into plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And on the exhale, bring your knees to the mat. And now Cobra Pose. Lift the heart up off the mat. The elbows are bent. The pubic bone is pressing down into the mat. Squeeze your glutes together. Squeeze them towards one another. And then release down. Now tuck your toes. Push to a plank pose. And then downward facing dog. Press your hands into the mat now in downward dog. And again, pedal it out. Bending one knee. And then the other. And you can let your hips move from side to side here if you like. Keep it going another couple of times, feeling that great stretch on the back of the leg as you straighten each leg and press the heel down towards the mat. And maybe one more time through the pedaling. And then pause, press both heels down towards the mat. Downward dog. Now lift your left leg up and then step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands. Right foot's going to follow now into a standard standing forward fold. I guess it's a standard standing forward fold. Now press into the front of the feet and rise and bring your hands to heart center. Take a breath. Now the arms to a T, swan dive. Come to a half lift. Then as you exhale, step your left foot back. The right foot stays forward. Then bring your left knee to the mat and reach your arms up and overhead into our low crescent lunge. Bring your hands down now on either side of the right foot. Tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat. And then step the right foot back to plank pose. Now Cobra Pose, knees to the mat. Chest and chin follows as the elbows bend. And then rise up into a nice deep cobra back bend. Release. Tuck your toes. Push to plank. And find downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Lots and lots of length in the spine. And now walk the feet forward to the hands into our standing forward fold. This time take opposite elbows and press the elbows down towards the big toes. The knees can bend if you like. 2 more breaths here. Lengthening the spine, letting the head and the elbows get really heavy. Now bring the arms out to a T and reverse swan dive, rising with a nice long spine. Once you're up, reach your arms up and overhead, look up, and then bring the hands to heart center and release the hands down, palms facing forward, thumbs pointing apart from one another. 5 breaths now. Breathe deeply in and out. Keep it going. 3 more times through. And twice more. And 1 more time. Now bring your arms out to a T and swan dive, forward fold. Come to a half lift. Now leave your left foot forward and step the right foot back into runner's lunge. Now step the left foot back to meet it into plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And then flow through a vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. Bring your knees off the mat in upward dog if you can. Now look to your left and then to center and to the right, and to center, and then lift your hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, reach your right leg up and step the right foot forward so it comes between the hands, runner's lunge, and left foot follows, standing forward fold. Now keep your chin on your chest, draw your navel in as you rise, and then hands to heart center. Arms out to a T, swan dive, forward fold, half lift. Now keep the right foot forward and step the left foot back into runner's lunge. And then bring your left knee to the mat, press into the right foot and rise. Reach the arms up and overhead into a low crescent lunge. Arms out to a T. Take a twist. This is going to be to your right. Bring your left elbow to your right knee. Join your palms and reach the right elbow up and overhead. Couple more breaths. One more. Keep the hands together. Press into the right foot as you come back up. Then reach the arms high. And the hands come down now. Tuck your toes and lift the left knee off the mat, straightening that left leg. And then step the right foot back to plank pose. Flow through a vinyasa now. Into upward dog. And when you're ready, downward dog. On an inhale, lift the left leg up and step the left foot forward, bringing it between the hands. Now bring your right knee to the mat. Press into the left foot or reach the arms up into a low crescent lunge. The left knee is pressing forward. The hips are pressing forward and down. Now the arms to a T. Take your twist, right elbow to left knee, palms join together, and the left elbow reaches towards the sky. 2 breaths. And one more. You're doing great. Keep the palms together now as you come back to center. And then reach up high. Then as you exhale, hands come down. Tuck the toes and the right knee comes off the mat as that right leg straightens. And then step your left foot back to plank pose. Now flow through vinyasa. Into upward dog. Take a breath. And then find downward dog. Now 5 breaths in downward facing dog. Pressing the heels down towards the mat. Lengthening the spine. 4 more breaths. Stay with it. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep your awareness on the breath. 2 more breaths. Let the breath lengthen if you can as you lengthen the spine in the pose. And 1 more breath. Good. On an inhale, reach your right leg up and then step the right foot all the way forward so it comes between the hands. Then move your right hand to the inside of the right foot so both hands are are inside of that right foot. And bring your left knee to the mat and untuck the toes on the left foot. And now lizard pose. If you can, come down to the elbows. And if you're not able to do that, you can stay up on the hands, but maybe bend the elbows a little bit more so your chest drops down. See if you can keep your shoulders level. And now hug that right knee in towards the right shoulder. Maybe scoot the left knee back just a little bit. And breathe. Huge hip opening pose here. 1 more breath. Now keep the elbows on the mat and then step your right foot back into Dolphin plank pose. The toes are tucked and both knees are off the mat. We're going to be here just 1 more breath and then walk the feet forward into Dolphin pose. Press the forearms and the elbows into the mat. The shape of this pose is pretty much the same as downward dog, except we have the elbows on the mat instead of the forearms, instead of the palms. Now bring the knees to the mat. Come to table pose, and then tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Now as you inhale, lift your left leg up, and then step the left foot forward, bringing it between the hands, and then bring that left hand to the inside of the left foot. So both hands are now between the foot. Bring the right knee to the mat and untuck the toes on the right foot. You can come down to the elbows now. We've come to lizard pose on our second side. And see if we can hug that left knee in towards the left shoulder a little bit. Just noticing the sensation, paying attention to the feelings, aware of the breath flowing through your body. Take one more breath. Now tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat, and then step the left foot back into Dolphin plank, just like we did before. And then walk the feet forward into Dolphin pose. Second time here. Press your elbows into the mat. Reach your tailbone up and back a bit if you can. And that's it. Bring the knees down to the mat. Now bring your knees apart. Big toes touch. Knees come all the way to the edges of the mat. And then press your hips back to your heels into child's pose. Let your forehead come down towards the mat. Maybe your forehead touches the mat. 4 more breaths now in child's pose. Let your whole body start to surrender into the pose. Let your breath begin to deepen if you can. Two more breaths. And one more. Good. Now rise and bring the knees back so that they're just about hip width apart. And we've come back to table pose. And from there, let your hips drop to one side or the other and swing the legs around in front. Now I'm facing the front of my mat. Now reach your arms up and overhead. Press the sitting bones down. Reach up through the fingertips so you're lengthening the upper body. Now hinge at the hips and slowly begin to fold forward, bending the knees if you need to, if it's creating too much sensation in the back of the legs or the low back. Let your forehead come down. Now reach the fingertips forward and rise slowly, coming all the way back up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down by your side, and then bring the soles of the feet together into Cobbler Pose. You can bring the hands to the ankles so that you have sort of an overhand grip on the ankles and your thumbs are pointing towards one another. Now pull up on the ankles, and for most of us that will have the result of pulling the shoulders back and then down, helping to lengthen the spine. Begin to notice sensation in the outside of the hips and the inner part of the thighs. One more breath. Now release the hands from the ankles and bring your hands to the pinky toe side of the feet. So you're cupping the hands over one another. And then just lean back. Well, we'll see if I can do that this morning. And we'll float our Cobbler Pose. Now lengthen the spine again, bringing the shoulder blades a little bit together on the back if you can. One more breath. Now peace fingers to big toes, or if you can't do that or that's not comfortable, just bring the hands to the pinky toe side of the feet. Either way works. Lean back a little bit more, but keep the spine long, and then straighten the legs and bring them apart from one another as much as you're able to. Take a couple of breaths, maybe 3, and with each breath, think about lengthening the spine. Keep your chin in a nice neutral position. And maybe allow your feet to move apart from one another a little bit more, feeling that deep stretch in the hamstrings. One more breath. You're doing great. Now bring the soles of the feet slowly back together. Let your heels come towards your pubic bone. And then release the feet down to the mat. So we've come back to Cobbler Pose. And then from there, what I'd like you to do is come all the way down on your back. You may want to move your feet back closer to your pubic bone now. 2 more breaths in our inverted Cobbler Pose. Supta Baddha Konasana is the name of this pose. 1 more breath. Let your knees come back together. The hands can help the knees move together if you want. And then reach your feet up towards the sky into the legs up the wall pose. And then bend your knees and rock gently to a seat. Once you're seated, straighten both legs. And then bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot to the outside of the left thigh. And then hug the knee in. Well, I did that the wrong way. Hug the knee in with that left arm and bring the right hand down behind you. This pose is called Marichyasana. Press away with the left heel. Now draw a deep breath in and let your spine lengthen. Press down on both sitting bones. And as you exhale, twist and look over that right shoulder. 2 more breaths. You may notice the breath is constrained a little bit in this pose because of the twisting motion of the upper body. 1 more breath. Release now. And straighten that right leg, bend the left knee, sole the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, and then hug the knee in and twist and look over your left shoulder. The left hand has come down behind you, and the fingers on the left hand are pointing to the right if you can. Very little weight on that hand, on the left hand. Hug the knee in a little bit more. Press down on the sitting bones, and each inhale finds the spine lengthening, and each exhale finds a deeper twist. 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Just surrender into it a little bit. And let it go. Straighten both legs, and then bend the knees, flip the palms so they face up, and then slowly find yourself rolling all the way down to your back. And once your head lands on the mat gently, pick the knees up and hug the knees in towards your body. Release the hands from the knees, reach the feet up to the sky, and then bring the arms out to a T. Bend the knees so that the feet drop down. And let your knees move over to the left and land into a very gentle supine twist. Your gaze is to the right. You can let your eyes close down if you like. And just feel the breath moving through the body as you surrender into the pose. Let's find 1 more breath. Now let your knees float back to center and over to the other side. The gaze is off to the other side, opposite direction. For most of you to the left. But whichever way the knees are, the gaze is to the other side. Let your breath soften. Let the knees float back to center now. And then bring yourself to a seat. Once you're seated, you can either bring your hands to your lap or to the knees. And let your eyes close down. Now breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, 4 counts in. And then 6 counts out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 4 counts in. And if you can, 7 counts on the exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And one more. 4 counts in. And 7 counts on the exhale. Now draw a deep breath in. Keep breathing in as long as you can, filling the whole body with breath. And now open your mouth and big open mouth exhale. Do that one more time. A big deep breath in. Breathe in as long as you're able. Keep breathing in if you can. And now a big open mouth exhale. Let it go. And bring your hands to heart center now. Join me in offering loving kindness. May you be happy and well and safe. And may all beings be peaceful and at ease. Namaste.
Namaste.